what he did will always be relevant to how people's emotions are and how people react to other people and how emotionally driven people are. And that's the thing that I don't think will ever change. Sometimes I think with Peter being so honest, people might find it uncomfortable because it is raw, most of the emotion and things. But so I think it's always going to be relevant in the world of dance and the world of art and theatre.
He was setting the trend for the future of what's happening today. Going into schools, going into church halls, and letting people see what ballet could be like. That it wasn't just for the elite few, that everybody could enjoy ballet and dancing.
I can't remember him ever doing anything shallow or for no reason, or and I think that the audience would buy into that, so they would understand the honesty.
Peter had a passion, and I loved that passion in Peter, and I loved his work.
With Peter, all the ballets seemed very, they were very personal, and a lot of his ballets came out of where he was in his life, and if he was having difficulty, in a way, you knew there was a fantastic ballet there waiting to come out.
In the studio, when Peter walked in, there was something happened. Not only did everybody strive to do more and more and more, but the whole studio lit up, and people just gave that extra bit.
He used to wear most of the time blue jeans with a big belt, and I remember him throwing himself around, and he'd cut himself. And I remember it specifically because I was very young, and there was blood coming out from where his belt had cut him, and he was completely unaware of what was actually, well, it didn't matter to him, I suppose. That wasn't what it was about. And so he would work with that intensity and drive to deliver these steps. And that's where the urgency of what he was trying to get out was incredibly important to him, I think.
Yes, sometimes he was very, very quick. It just used to roll out of him.
He would deliver a passage of movement very quickly and then just turn and look at you. And at that point, you'd either got it or you hadn't got it.
Sometimes he was so quick, then I'd have to go through everything that we'd done that day all night so that I'd remember it the next day.
And you learned very quickly, if you hadn't got it, the next delivering of that was different and not quite as good and not quite what he wanted. You could deliver very quickly if you were on the ball.
He never counted anything, but if you were doing a solo and you were dancing, he'd suddenly go and, not necessarily click his fingers, but you'd suddenly go and you knew you weren't quite on the beat that he was listening to and hearing.
He said you should hear it and dance with it. You don't dance directly on top of it, in a way. That the emotion of the music is the thing that makes the emotion happen. So, and I think in a way that means that it doesn't become stale. That on that beat you've got to do that, on that beat you've got to do that. And this is only split second, but the music makes the things happen. And he was very particular about that, and it was incredibly musical.
With Peter, it was all up here, and it wasn't in the mouth. It was here and here, in your heart, in your head, but it didn't speak so much.
It's that same sort of joining of emotions and really believing what he was delivering and the clarity of what he wanted, and he could just out the most simplest of movements say so very much.